Thank you for attending today's news briefing. My name is Jeff Fleur with the Greater Wichita Partnership. Understanding Wichita would be impacted from the suspending of the production of the 737 MAX, private and public sector partners immediately came together last week to start identifying how we may provide resources for the workforce that would be impacted. The impacted workers are our neighbors and our friends. We want to be able to provide connections to jobs, educational, and training opportunities to keep our valued talent here in Wichita and to show them their community is here when they need help and support of any kind during this interim moment. 14 organizations represented here today have come together to form the Aerospace Task Force to address this moment. We want to first go through the opportunity to introduce members representing each of the task force members. To my right is the Mayor Whipple. Mayor Whipple, thank you for being here today. I also see a number of council members here as well. If you could raise your hand, thank you for being here at the news briefing as well. Sedgwick County Chairman Pete Meissner, Chairman right here to my left. Also have a number of county commissioners here too. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Dennis. That's a habit I'm going to have to break here, sir. And where's Lacey? And Jim Howe? Jim, thank you for being here as well. Keith Long with Workforce Alliance. Keith, to my left, thank you for hosting us today. We will hear from the mayor, the chairman, and Keith in a few moments. On the state level, with the state of Kansas, we have Brett Farsbarth, who is here with the Deputy Secretary, Department of Labor. Brett, thank you, sir. Mike Bean, who is the Director of Workforce Services, also with the Department of Commerce for the state of Kansas. So thank you, Mike, for being here as well. Later today, the State of the State will be delivered by Governor Laura Kelly. So we appreciate Brett and Mike being here with us today and this afternoon. Representing our elected leaders in Washington, Senator Jerry Moran's office is being represented by Mike Zemersall. Mike, thank you for being here. Senator Pat Roberts is Tamara Woods. Okay. And then also representing Congressman Ron Estes is Debbie Looper. So Debbie, thank you for being here as well. Key community leaders that we have with us today. United Way of the Plains, Pat Hannaran is here with us. Pat, thank you, sir. The Community Foundation, Shelley Pritchard, to my left. And also the Regional Chamber of Commerce, Gary Plummer. And then WSU Tech, Sherry Utash. Thank you for being here. WSU, Kimberly Moore is also here today, representing the campus, and also President Golden, who unfortunately could not be here due to a Board of Regents meeting today. And then myself with the Greater Wichita Partnership. Every partner organization is contributing a key role in providing a unified response to support our people, our companies, and our community. We are working closely with each other, Spirit Aerosystems, and the supply chain. This is an evolving situation, so each of the partners are responding, coordinating, and continuing to build resources available every day. We are known globally as the air capital of the world. And today, the task force is launching the Air Capital Commitment. This commitment is from the elected leadership and community partners to our people and to our community. We are dedicated to providing the immediate support and the long-term resources for what makes the air capital world-class: our people, our companies, and our community. As a part of this commitment, we are creating a webpage that will provide all the resources in one location. The site will go live next week, and we will certainly provide more information when it is launched. We are coordinating a part of that commitment, multiple strategies that are responding in real time. We will talk about some of these today, including how we are working with companies to make sure their employees will hear directly and be able to connect to job opportunities and resources. Other members of the task force will provide more details about their services that they are able to put together later in later briefings that we will have in subsequent weeks. Such as the work by the United Way is doing with the entire group here today, and also with nonprofits across our city to ensure people have whatever resources they may need. To connect closely today, the state is also streamlining all their programs that they offer, and Secretary Garcia will be in town tomorrow to provide more details about how they are including on their web portal, if you will, in one location, all the programs that they have at the state level. At this time, we would like to have remarks from our mayor, chairman, and Keith. Mayor Whipple.
So last week, I've been in touch with our stakeholders, both in the private sector and in the public sector, in particular with the Secretary of Commerce and the Secretary of Labor, Secretary Garcia, who is a Wichita native. In addition to that, we have had conversations with our local leadership on a county level, as well with our federal leaders in Washington. And one thing is for sure, and this message is very important to those who are laid off and who are affected by this economic situation, is we are in this together. We are a community who is coming together to make sure that we face these troubles side by side. That this is not a situation where people who are impacted need to feel that they're in this alone. And part of that is having a group such as this help us to streamline the services and to streamline the resources that are going to be available. I will tell you that there is a short-term plan, and right now we are seeing the unrolling of that short-term plan to care for the people of Wichita who are affected by this. That is number one. The midterm plan is to utilize the resources here and within our community to make sure that people who are affected by these layoffs have opportunities to get back out there in the workforce to keep earning a paycheck. And then a long-term strategy that everyone behind me, we are working together on, is to create diverse economic opportunity for our community so that we are better prepared for economic stabilization in the future, and that we have more opportunities for people who have skills to get employed and utilize those skills right here in our community. So as we move forward, I want just to thank everyone here, but also thank Secretary Garcia, Secretary Tolan, even the governor, and to make sure that we are a united front in supporting our community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. If I could put a little perspective on this, this is not good news, but we have experienced real economic downturn that resulted in far more numbers of people losing their jobs. This was not our fault. You know, the max was not our fault, but we are suffering from it. But the rest of the country's still economically going, so we can get through this. Can I remind you all that it wasn't long ago, maybe 8-9 years ago, Hawker Beechcraft announced some very serious stuff that was much more serious than this. But it was a local company, Cessna, developing Textron, took it over, and then, of course, of a few years, they were a shortage of hiring people back. They had hired everybody back that they could. And that was a local company stepping up and doing that. Going back even a little further, when Boeing separated out and left Wichita, a gentleman named Jeff Turner stepped up, created Spirit, developed a whole program for commercial airlines instead of just the military. And it was, again, a local person stepping up and doing stuff. At that same time, the aviation industry, the aerospace industry in Wichita area was saying, we need training, we need help. And so they, along with government at the time, meaning Sedgwick County, built a little facility called National Center for Aviation Training. NCAT out there, we developed a curriculum to train people, and under the direction right now of Dr. Sherry Utash, it's flourishing. Now everybody calls it WSU Tech, and everybody wants to own a piece of WSU Tech, so thank you for all that. So I guess my message is that there's hope. I'm very comforted that this whole group has come together, including our senator on the federal level, and our Congressman Estes and Senator Moran. You all know that they've been very involved in supporting this area. So I think we've got a good group together, and I feel for everything that's going to happen, but we're going to have a short-term plan, and I think a solution, I think a long-term recovery that'll be right around the corner as far as I'm concerned. So thank you for letting me say a few things.
Thank you. Again, welcome everybody to the Wichita Workforce Center. Wish we could be under better circumstances, but I just want to echo both the comments of Mayor Whipple and Chairman Meitzner. We have done this kind of thing before, and we are going to do it again, and we are going to be better in the long run as a result of it. The Workforce Alliance has had a long partnership with Spirit Aerosystems to help them hire workers. We have several things in place, a great relationship. We know now that has to change slightly, and so we're working very closely with the company on how we can help serve those impacted workers over the next few weeks. So we will have a very robust plan that includes out-briefing information that includes job opportunities. And as Chairman Meitzner was alluding to, there are job opportunities in this community, and we know that. And again, to echo Mayor Whipple's comments, we have fantastic resources and partnership from the state of Kansas, from the Department of Commerce, from the Department of Labor. All of those are going to be applied to the best of our ability over the next few weeks. So part of the plan that we're going to be having, and I think some of the good news in this tough time that we're dealing with is, like I mentioned, we have employers who are hiring. We've had several businesses, a number of businesses, over 24 businesses, local businesses. When I say local, I'm talking the South Central Kansas area that are seeking talent and are looking for workers right now. And why the emphasis has been about Spirit Aerosystems, I need to remind all of us, there are other companies on the 737 MAX supply chain that are being impacted by this. There are workers at other companies that are being laid off right now. And so our response is going to be geared community-wide. And we are going to be embracing those individuals and those businesses as best to our ability. So over the next few weeks, there will be some targeted job fairs. We will be working specifically with business and industry who want to hire from this incredible talent pool that we have coming out here now. And there are also going to be some temporary, some part-time jobs available. Again, we want these folks to be able to go back to Spirit or their other businesses when the time comes. The census is hiring. The need for substitute teachers in our schools is robust. So there's lots of opportunities, and we'll be doing our best to take advantage of those. I do want to very quickly recognize my board chair, Jennifer Hughes, who's here today. We just had our executive committee met, and our board of directors is ready to be part of this plan. I also want to recognize Russell Kennedy, who's on my board with the IBW. A number of his members are going to be impacted. So we will be reaching out to our friends in labor and their membership. And again, how do we plan this moving forward? Again, to echo the comments from Jeff, from the mayor, and from the chairman, this kind of group you see coming together now is indicative of what kind of community that we live in. And so I guarantee you, once this is over, once we get through this situation, this will be a stronger community. So again, I thank you all very much. Jeff?
Mayor, Mr. Chairman, Keith, thank you for your remarks today. Through the Air Capital Commitment, there will be continued updates that we'll be giving to you regarding the resources and the job opportunities within our community. Our goals, again, are to readily provide the resources for impacted workers and their families and their companies. Continually provide connections to job, educational, and training opportunities. And provide all this information at one site through one source that will be announced next week and actually become live. We will continue to grow and strengthen our local economy. We have strategies that are in place right now that are giving us really great tactics in how we move in moments of opportunity, but also in moments of challenges. Since 2015, we have seen over 7,500 jobs announced in our region. Of that, approximately 5,000 of those jobs have been in sectors such as IT, transportation logistics, value-added agriculture, advanced manufacturing and materials, healthcare. We will continue to collectively work with great diligence to provide opportunities of diverse growth for our region. In today, we have the news media. We need you. You are a critical part of getting this message out to our community, and we appreciate your willingness to do that. We will continue to be very proactive in our communication on all the different aspects and all the coordinated responses. Members of the task force, we will remain here today to answer any questions you may have at the conclusion of today's news briefing. And again, we do appreciate you being here today. Our pledge is to make sure we have good information to you. And if ever there's a moment that you have a question, do not hesitate to ask us. So at this time, we'll conclude it, and then members of the task force will be available as a result of closing today. So thank you so much. Thank you to the task force for putting it come together. Thank you.